Hey guys, it's Dani. I am wrapping up the month of June today. Can you believe it is July already? How freaking crazy is that? But you know, we've had a ton of stuff to do in June. We had my husband's graduation. He finished cosmetology school. He passed his written exam. He's waiting on his practical. He got a spot at a really awesome salon in the area. He won literally all the awards for his class. I was so proud because he really did pour his heart and soul into it, so I'm super proud. So congratulations, Jacob. I reached 1,000 subscribers. Y'all, what the hell? You guys are amazing. I am so grateful for each and every one of you who come and hang out with me all the time, drop comments and likes. Y'all are awesome. Thank you a bazillion times. That was incredible. I just posted the video for the winner, which was Ben, so congratulations to him. So yeah, it's been a wild ride in June, a wild ride. So let's start with tarot. What did I use this month? This month was the Marielle 2nd edition. As you guys know, some of these are upside down. Most of these are probably upside down. As you guys know, I got this one in. I did have some bumps and bruises, but, you know, I have it in my hands. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. It's not anything that's going to stop me from using it because it's such a unique deck. And I think I may eventually down the road get a copy of the original, the 1st edition, simply because I would love to have those other cards, the ones that were changed. So we have the Marielle, and then we have my current obsession, and that is the Revival Art Tarot. So of course, if I had to choose, because these were our walkthrough Wednesdays this month, or the month of June, if I had to choose, of course it would be this one. I think I'll choose this for the rest of the year because I am so incredibly obsessed with this deck. When I tell you that it's so conducive to path working, because these were paintings, these were pieces of art, it's almost as if you can dive in there and look around. Like, you can really put yourself into that setting and really take a scope of the area. You can see the people's faces so well. There's nothing blurry. There's nothing kind of obstructing their facial features, which is amazing because they're so intricate and they're on a smaller scale. But, I mean, you can see, I don't know if you'll be able to focus on it, but everything is just so clear. So it's like you can really do a good characterization for these. Like, you can see these people and be like, oh, he looks like the kind of man, like this one looks like the kind of man that may have done something in his past that he regrets. Someone that's maybe been out in the sun, a farmer, a shepherd. You can really just kind of play with them and play with their character and really sink your teeth into this deck. So I can't praise it enough. I haven't been buying decks recently, but I opted for this one a month or so ago, and it came in from Russia. You can find them on Etsy. I have no regrets. I'm still of the mind that if someone said, I can only have one deck in my collection, this would be it. And I would be completely satisfied. No joke, no lie. So if you haven't seen these walkthroughs, I'll make sure that I've linked them in the cards. That way you can take a look at these. But that's my favorites for June. What next? Let's talk a little bit about the bullet journal. Since my life was super crazy, this actually really helped for June. I did a basic kind of vibe, and they all kind of look like that. However, I got it in my head. You know, I have a couple of different notebooks that I'm doing a few things. So I was like, you know what? I want to put more into this. I need some space to write out. So for July, I set it up a little bit differently. I'm going to be putting a lot more of my tarot stuff in there. My weekly spreads, because I'm changing my dailies, which I've been slacking on anyway. It just wasn't conducive to my schedule. Like, you know what, I'm gonna do for sure a weekly spread that I want to write about and put down. Writing about my dailies and really going in there was just not what I needed. I feel like I just need to pull and take in those personal ones, my daily ones, and then really write out and explore my weekly ones. So I'm going to be switching that up this month. So that's what I had, the simple little spread in my bullet journal, which I feel like this month I will not neglect like I have been in the past. But I haven't had a lot of stuff, a lot of things to complain about when it comes to my bullet journal. I've been really happy with the way that it's going. And it's already halfway through the year, so I'm really excited to see how this plays out for the rest of the year. What next? Let's go with books. Let's go with books, because I read one book this month. Again, I'm very upset with myself. I'm really not. Because the one that I read this month was ridiculous. It stuck with me, and I think it will always stick with me. I read I'll Be Gone in the Dark. This is by Michelle McNamara, and this is one woman's obsessive search for the Golden State Killer. This was the wife of the comedian Patton Oswalt. I know a lot of people know who Patton Oswalt is. He's a favorite comedian of mine. I love him. But this was his wife, and she passed away, I believe, in 2016. I remember when it happened. It was kind of like an accidental death. It was tragic. But the book is about literally her obsession with the Golden State Killer, of which she dubbed, right? So at the time she was writing, they had not caught him yet. They caught him in 2018. Matter of fact, it was still during the press tour for her book that he was caught. This Joseph James D'Angelo. Joseph James D'Angelo. I'm 90% sure. They caught him, and they added to the end of the book about when they caught him and where they were, and they were on their book tour, and they kind of said a little bit about him. But like, her obsession became almost my obsession. I could not put this book down. This is the guy, so if you don't know about the Golden State Killer, he was, they believe, I think they confirmed it. I'm still kind of diving in and like reading, because there hasn't been much out since last year about the investigation or what's been going on, or at least I haven't found it yet. So it's still very intriguing, and like made me kind of obsessed now with knowing and finding out. But they believe he was the Visalia ransacker. He's done over like 100 burglaries, and this is all happening in California, I think around the Sacramento area. So they believe he was the Visalia ransacker kind of first, where he was like burglarizing, peeping Tom kind of stuff. Then he was the original Night Stalker. So we all know, I think it's, what is it, Ramirez, who became like the Night Stalker. I could be wrong. My true crime memory has failed me before. But he was the original Night Stalker. So they call him the original Night Stalker, but he's also known as the East Area Rapist. So he was kind of known as these things, or they thought it was all the same guy. And then Michelle started her investigation of it. She's a journalist, and the way that she writes is amazing, because she kind of starts by saying, you know, this is where my true crime obsession came from, and it was someone who had been murdered in her town, and she's like, I just wanted to know more. I wanted to find this killer. So she dove in and spent days and weeks and months and years just poring over evidence, little bitty pieces. Can you find something that he took from a house? Can you find something that he did this? And she renamed him the Golden State Killer because she's like, it needs to be a name that people are going to remember because we need to find out who this guy was. So this guy, so over 100 burglaries, over 50 rapes, and at least 13 killings, like insane. And when I tell you she wrote about all the little kind of nuances as far as like what the victims can remember, you know, she talked to the victims, she talked to the other victims' families, and kind of really set the scene. And it was so dark. It's like one of those books where you're like terrified. I got to read it once he had already been caught. But man, the thought of being even around the Sacramento area before this guy was caught. This happened for what, 40 something years? It happened in the 70s, right? Through the 80s, something like that. Regardless, just knowing this guy was still out there. He's never been caught. Is he dead? Is he still alive? Is he still doing this in a different way, shape, or form? Her writing was amazing. They had someone else come in, some of her partners and stuff that she was speaking with, part of the police force. This guy called the Kid, who was like online investigator type person. They helped finish the book once she passed away. So to read this book really had me just fully enveloped all month long. It was a spectacular read. So if you get the chance, where did it go? What happened? Oh, here we go. If you guys get the chance to read I'll Be Gone in the Dark, do it. If you like true crime, if you're a murderino like I am, you will definitely love this book. So, in speaking of that, we all know I'm still listening to my podcast, which is My Favorite Murder. This has got me like the full obsession as it is for the past 3 months. This is what I've been doing. My time has been filled with listening to these, but it was an obsession of mine when I was a kid. I was always interested in just like, I want to try to understand what happened. I want to try to understand what's going on. Then when I was in college, my interest sparked again when I caught a glimpse of it's dubbed now like the staircase murder. It's Michael Peterson who murdered his wife by like pushing her down the stairs, blunt objects, stuff like that. What was going on in, what was it, like 2003, 2004-ish? I would go to school, because I went to school at night. I would go to school, I would pop open my laptop, and it would be Crime Library, Court TV, or on Court TV. I would pop it open and they would have all the notes from the trial that day. So I would sit there and I would read all the notes from the trial. And then once I was done for the update, I would go into the Crime Library on there and I would read for hours. I was bored in college, can you tell? So it's really fun for me if you like true crime, if you like to laugh. These girls are hilarious. They've been around since 2016, I believe. So I was very late to the game, but I'm catching up now. I'm into 2018. So maybe I'll catch up after all. Okay, so on to art. So Lennon decided she was going to paint a picture a week ago, and she had a bunch of little paints left over, so I grabbed them and I created this. This is my finger painting. How beautiful. I did this all with my fingers and bunches and bunches of color. We got some texture in there. We had some fun painting. She used a brush. I used my fingers because I'm sophisticated that way. But as we all know, most of my art time is going into my tarot deck. So I'm gonna take some few of my pictures here that I have, a few of my cards, and I'm going to flash these for you, so you can kind of see where my progress is going. So this is what I've been up to as far as cards are concerned in June. Justice. And then, of course, I have a couple that I've watercolored, but I haven't finished. And then a few more printed out. My Wheel of Fortune is out of order. I have printed out up to the Lovers, so I'm hoping to get that done this week. If you do want to follow more closely with my deck and how I'm progressing and seeing the art up close, you can check out my Patreon. That's linked below. I'll even put a link to the video somewhere up here. I usually always point to the wrong spot. You get it. So that's what I did art-wise this month. Otherwise, what else did I do? I did get to watch a couple of great shows. So I'm obsessed with Black Mirror. Again, it's creepy, it's thought-provoking, it's really intense in some spots. But they came out with the next season, what is it, season 5. They had only 3 episodes this season, so I was able to catch up on all that, and I loved it as usual. The last one was a bit strange, so I'm not gonna spoil anything, but the last one had Miley Cyrus in it. She was playing kind of like, obviously not herself, but like a pop star, strange vibe. That was the only one that was kind of like, I mean, it was still good, don't get me wrong, it still had that like technology is fucking dangerous kind of vibe, right? But it was a little more silly than they normally are. And by silly, I mean like they just had that comic relief that's usually not in there. Like it wasn't super heavy, right? But the other 2 were fantastic. I loved them. So that was good. I've been still watching Good Omens. I have not binged it. I'm taking my time, taking my sweet time, but I'm still absolutely loving it. What else did I watch? Oh my gosh, so I just found Documentary Now. I've been slacking on TV and movies and everything else, but I found Documentary Now, and that is the funniest shit I've seen in a long time. So that's on Netflix. So if you guys have Netflix and you like a good comedy, they literally spoof documentaries. So they spoofed a Vice one. They spoofed the, oh my God, the first one was hilarious. What was that called? Oh my gosh. I'm gonna look it up so I don't lie. Found it. So Sandy Passage. Sandy Passage is the name of the first episode, and it's hilarious. This is what got me hooked. It is based on Grey Gardens. That's what it is. Grey Gardens documentary. Y'all, they are so spot on. This is Bill Hader, Fred Armisen. I think Seth Meyers writes for it. So these guys are hilarious to begin with. But seeing them spoof these documentaries is so funny. Jack Black was on the second one, which is kind of like a Vice style documentary. If you like comedy, if you love parodies, please watch Documentary Now. Again, I'm so far behind, but I'm finding this and I'm just sharing that with you. So that was basically my June. Nothing too crazy. So for July, I am going to be keeping Walkthrough Wednesday. I put a poll up on my account about a week or so ago asking if you guys wanted me to keep Walkthrough Wednesday or go to midweek reading and review, where I would do our midweek reading and then I would kind of review the deck, and then separately maybe just have a flip through with no talking, just kind of music, just a regular flip through, or if you just wanted the midweek reading and review. I had overwhelmingly 66% say to keep Walkthrough Wednesday, so Walkthrough Wednesday is staying for now. So we're going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing some tarot spell work with the new moon in Cancer And the lunar eclipse, I'm going to be doing some tower magic, some tower spell work. I'm going to try to get that up for tomorrow. So if anybody wants to join me in doing that, I'll have that posted. I'm also planning on doing some elemental magic thrown in. I might start doing that, showing how I work with the different elements and kind of some of the things that I'm doing. And I'm bringing back Alicia, you guys. She is coming hang out with me. We're going to be doing a few things of incense. We might do some spells together, some herb stuff, some candle stuff. We're going to be around. So you guys will definitely be seeing Alicia in the next week or so. We're going to try to do one at least once a month, maybe twice a month. We're going to get together and just kind of make something, do witchy fun stuff. So that'll be absolutely amazing. I'm excited for that. As always, you guys, if you're looking for me, all my links are below. Make sure you like and subscribe if you like this channel. Hit the bell if you want to make sure that you don't miss any videos that I put out. I try to do at least once a week, mostly twice, but at least once. And again, you can find me by email, Instagram. My Patreon's down there if you want to keep up with my tarot deck, like I said before. I also have my Etsy shop where you can also book a personal reading with me and a bunch of other links. So I will see you guys very soon. Thank you for being here as always. I'm sending you all my love. Mwah! Later, Gators.